Good evening. It's 7:01, and we have two meetings tonight, Cunningham Town Board, and that will be followed by the Urbana City Council meeting. I'd like to call the Cunningham Town Board meeting to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ammons, Mr. Brown,
Here.
Mr. Jacobson,
Here.
Mr. Madigan, Miss Marlin,
Here.
Mr. Roberts,
Here.
Mr. Smythe,
Here.
Mayor Pressing.
Here. Is there anyone who would like to address the Cunningham Town Board? Okay. The first item is the minutes of the previous meeting, September 6th, 2016.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Smythe, seconded by Roberts. Any discussion? Additions or corrections? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Then we have the committee to verify bills. Do you want to address
Hi. Yes, I'm Dina Landis. I'm the Director of Accounting at the Township. I'm sitting in for Michelle tonight for our October claims, including September interim checks. The town fund total was $47,745.71, and the total general assistance fund was $14,856.22.
Okay, are there any questions for Dina?
Move approval. Second.
Motion by Smythe, seconded by Jacobson, to approve the bills. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Reports of officers? No reports of officers. Okay, unfinished business? I don't think we have anything that we're going to deal with. Okay, then under new business, we have resolution number T 2016-10-005R. The resolution determining the amounts of money necessary to be raised by the tax levy for the tax year 2016, collectible in 2017. So that's the same amount that was in the budget, correct? And this is just the formal.
It's just because she's not putting in to raise it more than 5%. Is that?
It's required to adopt a resolution determining the amount by which you are increasing the levy over last year's, and the amount is 0. If it's over 5% increase, then you need to have a public hearing on it, but you don't need a public hearing because it's not more than 5%.
Okay.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Smythe, seconded by Marlin. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson,
Yes.
Miss Marlin,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smythe.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next, we have resolution number T 2016-10-006R, a resolution setting compensation of Cunningham Township officials for the 4-year term beginning May 15th, 2017. This is for the Cunningham Township Supervisor, the Township Clerk, and the Town Board. And then beginning January 1st, 2018, the Cunningham Township Assessor. Is there a motion on that? Questions? Bill Brown?
Yeah, we didn't get a paper copy. I don't have it in front of me, but two of those, okay. For the township clerk and the board, the dates are the previous 4 years. Are the dates wrong? Or are the amounts for what they were paid the last 4 years?
I can tell you that the amounts on this are increased, just because I do the payroll. I think the dates are just wrong on there. Probably her using an old copy to do that. But yeah, that gives them, I have a spreadsheet, I don't know if that was in the packet for everyone, that shows that the proposed is an increase for the board, and then a 2% increase every year after the first.
And then, so for the supervisor, there's about a $10,000 increase to try to put it on par with Champaign, apparently.
Yes.
And for the assessor, that increase is about 5%, I think I calculated. It's maybe $2,000 or $3,000 to put it on par with Champaign.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's put him up about
I guess
3,300.
for myself, I'm considering whether or not that makes sense to bring us automatically up to date with Champaign, or if there's somebody else we should be comparing to or not. So
Well, I can tell you that just as the director of accounting, I did call a bunch of townships that are also coterminous townships with somewhat of a similar population. It's hard to find an exact match, but that really we are probably the least paid out of everyone that I called by a big margin.
and then sorry, just one more.
Yeah.
I think for the last 4 years, do you remember what the yearly percentage increase was for the last 4 years?
Yeah, for the elected officials, it was 0% in 2013 and then 2% for every following year.
Okay, I think inflation over the last 4 years has been about 1.2%, so it came out a little bit ahead over the last 4 years. I'm not sure if 2% is right over the next 4 years. If you believe that the 10-year bond is supposed to represent interest rates, maybe it should be 1.5 or something, but it's probably not a big difference. But I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that $10,000 increase right now.
Those dates on the clerk and the board should be 2017, 18, 19, and 20, so they'll need to be corrected with a pen or whatever before it's signed, but those are the dates, the correct dates.
Okay, so the dates are correct for supervisor but wrong for clerk and township board, correct?
Correct for
Okay.
supervisor and assessor.
Okay, so Diane, did you want to say something?
I just had a question. Is that bonus for the assessor dependent on performance, or is that an automatic bonus, and why is that? Do you know?
I don't know tons about the assessor bonus, but I know that it's always the same amount and it's received every year. Fred, I don't know, he might have more.
It's determined to some extent and paid in part by the state. I don't recall the details offhand.
So that's not reflected in the salaries listed here? Okay.
Dennis?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing your spreadsheet of comparisons, and I didn't see that. I don't want to just see it just now. I'd like to. I would like to consider it this coming until our next meeting, perhaps.
Charlie?
You know, I'm sort of not comfortable either, and we're also missing 2 council members, or 2 board members, I should say. It'd be good to have all of us here. Should we have a special budget meeting? No, just at our next. Yeah, so I guess I would move to postpone this to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Second.
That won't be the time you can do a special meeting. It has to be more than 180 days in advance of the beginning of the term. And that is May 15th, so it would have to be more than 180 days before that.
So that would be before November 15th then.
Well, 15th would be,
And we meet on the first
The first Monday in
the first
November?
Monday, so we should have time to do it.
no, we should just have time. Yeah, I think you're right, that would be just enough time.
Okay, so Charlie, what's your motion again?
Just simply move this item to our next regularly scheduled meeting at the beginning of November.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Okay, motion by Smythe, seconded by Brown. Any discussion?
Yeah,
Oh, Eric, go ahead.
I think this is understood from what people have said already, but I'll just say it explicitly that I would like to have, and I think others would like to have, a more specific written documentation of the rationale for the new numbers. Yeah, with the comparisons with other, comparable situations, and with respect to the 2% increases, comparison with cost of living increases to see how that really, goes with, I mean, we can't predict inflation, but we can look back at what inflation has been, for example, over the last number of years and a decade. Well, let's say we're going up to 2020 from 2016, so we could look at what inflation has been for the last 4 years and see whether that 2% tracks that pretty accurately or not.
Okay, we have a motion to postpone item B under new business to the first meeting in November. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Next is whether we're going to have a closed session.
We do not need a closed session, and I have nothing to discuss on that tonight.
Okay. Any questions for Fred or, Eric?
Yeah, so I assume that means that essentially nothing has transpired with the Carl business. It is exactly where it was a month ago, or?
Basically, Carl filed their brief within the time that the court had extended previously, and the department's brief is due, I don't remember the exact date, about 2.5 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they'll file another request for extension, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why they would need another request for an extension, but the Supreme Court seems to grant whatever requests are made generally for extension of time.
Thank you.
Okay, there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.